Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wondrous, exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane. We'll be having our exciting 1 versus 1 right here on Ciez again. Yes, indeed, Ciez. I know I've been getting a ton of replays lately. In fact, in one day I got 14 replays. The problem was, pretty much all those 14 replays weren't really that good. There was usually some problem or the other which rather made me reluctant to actually use them. So we are back on Ciez for the time being, but keep on sending in replays. That's all I can suggest. Keep on sending in replays. Don't let one of your matches not getting cast discourage you. Just keep sending them in. Eventually, there'll be something good. And meanwhile, we shall be watching Vindicare fighting for Germany for the SS Panzerbrigade Gross, fighting in the southern half of the map with Festung support, Festung armor, and lightning war doctrines. Opposing him shall be Ciez, fighting for the Soviet Union, and he's already chosen a doctrine. I was opponent up. Most of them actually have guards of mechanized support and guards drive combined arms. But this time around, he's already gone for the guards motor, and he's fighting for the 5th Tank Corps. But back to Vindicare, noting here that Vindicare is only going for 2 pioneers and immediately tacking up. Rather unusual play here already from Vindicare. Vindicare, by the way, a rather high-ranking player. I believe he was also a veteran Dawn War 2 player. I could be wrong on that one, it might just be the name.
Our headquarters has been improved.
But there we go, already teched up. Definitely a bit unusual stuff going on there, rushing for the centre victory point. Popping in there again, nice little tactic there, getting troops quickly into a house just to check around to see if there's anything, and if there is, of course, you're already in the house, and thus essentially a bit safe. Already there retreating, likely we'll be seeing some sort of early building, likely the light mechanized company. A bit of a rush there, bit of an interesting rush, bit of an unusual rush, since again he's only doing it with 2 pioneers. Definitely not what you see very often. Looks like a more right-hand move for the fuel. Not going for this one, and rather interesting enough, his opponent's actually rushing for the farthest away fuel point as well. So today, neither of the players are actually going for the fuel point that would be closest to them, and thus also easy to secure and hold. And there we go, likely mechanized company up. Likely we'll be seeing a Panzer Grenadier rush up here from Vindicare. And of course his opponent might, at this stage, be suspecting my opponent is rushing for Panzer Grenadiers or something else, because I'm seeing bloody well nothing at all. So of course question is, does Ciez here actually realize this? Does he actually react on this, or what does he do? And there we go, Panzer Grenadier arriving with their Sturmgewehrs. First engagement here, Companies versus Pioneers, 3 minutes into the game. Quite a bit of time before we actually see an engagement. Companies pulling back in the face of the Pioneers. Conscripts rushing up to support. They're already there. I mean, we do see that Ciez is gaining a nice chunk of the map.
Pioneers ready for anything. We have new units.
Likely more Panzer Grenadier on the way. There we go, the first unit has arrived. And there we go. Second team being prepared to the front. Conscripts moving up. And Ciez, and there we go, we do see the response. We are seeing a quick support weapon company. He has likely figured out what is going on, and he's trying to prepare himself for it. Of course, he also knows it's likely going to be a bit unpleasant initially as the Sturmgewehrs open up, and there we go. Charging straight at the conscripts. And there we go, Yuri goes down rather quickly. More conscripts providing fire support. Looks like they're making a rush there for the house. Although, I mean, they can't really get much out of it again. Remember, windows. In this case, not really effective since there's only 1 window to fire up. And there we go. Oh, nicely placed button grenade. He baited him out of the building, then caught him with the grenade on the doorstep trick. And even managed to wipe out a Panzer Grenadier squad. Bit of a poor decision here by Ciez, if one has to be honest. Though, again, a bit rare nowadays to see the trick with the grenade on the doorstep. But it can still happen. It's well played there. And now the conscripts forced to retreat as Panzers arrive from every side. And a scout car follows up. They like to punch a Spielwagen. And going for the cutoff point of Ciez at the same time. Lots of things going on at the moment. Lots of things. And of course, Ciez rather low on infantry, certainly taking a bit of beating here in the face of Vindicare's Panzergrenadier rush. Immediately securing the center of the map, rushing ahead aggressively. Combat is getting flamethrowers. Maxim arriving. Ciez getting ready to put a stop to the fascist advance.
The enemy is taking our territory.
And Ciez in the meanwhile just harassing as best as he can against Vindicare's approaches, trying to cut off fuel and other vital points. Panzer is advancing, going to make a rush for this building as well, it would seem. With more windows available, he might be able to hold out a bit better this time around. Another geballte Ladung through the window. This time around doing nothing. And getting caught at the doorstep and ultimately forced away as the scout car also makes its presence known.
Taking infantry fire.
Blocking off the retreat path, exposing them to Pavano, who's a bit too far back, opening up the retreat path, allowing the conscripts to escape. Not very much unscathed, at least most of them are alive. Third team of Panzergrenadiers arriving. Vindicare really adding in with the heavy infantry at the moment. More commies moving up. Lots of flamethrowers up, by the way, for Ciez. I would imagine perhaps also some mines would be in order eventually. Scout car moving up, getting burned a bit. But likely flamethrowers don't have much in effect against stuff that is armoured.
We've added to the fatherland.
Taking up positions in the buildings and perhaps hoping to catch some of Vindicare's troops up close.
It's done.
Vindicare now grabbing back a lot of the territory he lost, and they were gained in some cases.
Territory taken. Push on.
But a reasonably decent force now, certainly high on firepower, of course also a bit more expensive than otherwise. In many ways, so there's certainly something there to keep in mind. Also got a bit more of upkeep than your regular grenadiers. So much more high maintenance force here for Vindicare. Though of course if he uses it properly he can get a lot more out of it. And there go rushing the Maxim, but looks like he decides to just get the hell out of there before it's too late. Quickly pulls off a good retreat here. Not even, oh, well, losing only one man, but still, reasonably enough. But we see here quick field gun up. Ciez taking no chance in this case, actually catching the scout car and wiping it out. Nicely played there, nicely done. Panzer was quickly taking up blocking position in the house, hoping to stall any Soviet advance. And of course one fun thing to remember about as Panzer Grenadiers is actually at range they actually do a lot more, they do more damage than even Grenadiers. I mean they're at all ranges they're pretty much better than all the basic infantry. So, little fun fact there. Mines going up, lovely, wonderful, amazing. Unless, of course, you're the Germans, in which case, of course, you think it's an awful, awful thing. Oh, no, that's a poor retreat right there.
Good work, Ciez!
Bit unfortunate, bit unfortunate.
Taking fire! Ivan! The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Oh, minesweepers out. Well played there. Vindicare taking no chances. Already getting minesweepers up. Grenades versus flamethrowers up north. One Panzer Grenadier finds himself torched. Others running into the Maxim. Getting suppressed and shot at point blank. Not having much luck there. Pioneers trying to flank. But they will be encountering some very unpleasant opposition as well. We do see that Ciez and the 4th Tank Corps has been pushed back for the time being. Heavy mortar arriving, a heavy mortar. No guards arriving, by the way, for now. I might have expected that would happen. You know, some light machine guns could have proved quite handy, but apparently not so far anyways. Medic bunker going up, and also flowing quite a bit of resources, although might soon result in a support armor core, since he's definitely got the resources for it.
Ready.
Or should we perhaps expecting a cash up here first? Clearly thinking in the long term, now that he's gained an initial advantage with his Panzer gun, it looks like he might be trying to sort of get more out of it. Also noting here, S-mines going up for Vindicare. S-minen. Sprengminen. Heavy mortar firing away. And of course, be careful about walking around in your minefields if something sets them up. you're screwed. In this case, the Pioneers never stood a chance as the mortar set off all the nearby spring mine, killing the entire team. How unfortunate. Although I'm sure the mortar crew is quite pleased with themselves.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
But once more, we see Ciez is on the advance, playing pretty aggressively. The support weapons as well. Field gun moving up ahead. Rather aggressively. And there go the support weapon armor cores going up.
Panzer Grenadiers.
Careful, careful, Vindicare. He is bombarding the area, it would seem, with his mortar. One wrong hit and your Panzer Grenadiers will be dead.
Taking losses.
Ooh, that was close. Coming under fire then from the Maxim. Forced retreat. Oh no, they got killed on the retreat. And that was the last shot from the barrage, as well as it would look like. Oh, the rubbish situation right there. Leaving behind all of a sudden only 2 squads of Panzers and 1 Pioneer team left here for Vindicare. The tides have turned pretty quickly. Ciez strikes back hard and ruthlessly. He's definitely got the larger force at the moment. Though, of course, Christian is going to utilize it in a sufficiently ruthless manner.
Machine gun ready.
These will never kill us all.
Mortar crew ready.
Conscripts, they need to be careful versus the Panzer Grenadiers. They're not really going to stand a chance point blank like that. Going to lose several men to the ruthless SS Panzer Grenadier of the Panzer Brigade de Course. A rather unique formation. Well, one of the 2 only SS brigades ever to exist. Panzer brigades it is. And this one was basically just formed out of training units. And quickly rushed to the front line to fight alongside another Panzer brigade, and that actually saw them put together to a more ad hoc Panzer division. Fun little fact there. They fought alongside the 101st Panzer Brigade. And there we go. Oh, flamethrower went off to the Panzer Grenadiers. And an Austrian flak panzer going out. Looks like Vindicare not too worried about any armor, of course, the Ciez might have. So opting for the Ostwind to sufficiently punish the Russians for their crimes of being Bolsheviks.
There are no cowards. HMG crew is ready.
Lots of Maxims out for Ciez, by the way. Lots of Maxims, taking no chances, it would seem. With the infantry, though, of course, he's only got 1 field gun. Of course, he probably should be getting more soon, as the Ostwind will do unspeakable things to his troops.
The enemy is afraid.
Panzer's making it into the house. Mortar
Open up on us.
fire. Field gun nowhere to be seen, by the way. And there we go. The Ostwind rolling ahead. Flak shots tearing into the conscripts, ending their lives in manners most unpleasant. There we go. Field gun is up. Ostwind moving ahead. Anti-tank grenade quickly damages the engine. Well done, well done.
Enemy aircraft.
And what is this? Looks like a smoke drop, maybe.
Open up on us.
Yes, indeed. Festung support has been chosen. A quick smoke drop obfuscates the entire path here, allowing the Ostwind to escape. Well played right there. And we actually see here that Ciez is barraging straight into it, hoping to catch the Ostwind. A nice response here, although the crew was too slow in firing the light barrage, but definitely good, quick thinking there from Ciez. In fact, he was rather close. Again, had the crew been a bit faster, or had he been a bit faster, you know, he'd probably have knocked it out. So definitely the right idea right there from Ciez.
Awaiting command. AT gun here.
Your predecessor
Maxim on the prowl down south.
Supplies to the enemy.
And Panzer's here hoping, waiting perhaps to ambush someone.
With the enemy.
But might soon find themselves a bit trapped.
We're taking small arms fire.
As the field gun blasts away, conscripts moving up. And there we go. Mortar around direct hit. Ow! Another squad wiped out. We also hear back-attacking for Vindicare, now getting Grenadiers out. Perhaps to replace some of those Panzer Grenadier losses, although with the scorn for Festung support, of course, he could also consider using some relief infantry to that way replace some of his losses in the longer term. Also knowing he actually has got a munition cache up, so clearly he's playing for something with lots of munitions involved. And an MG42 out as well. Think he might be moving that a bit too far ahead for his own good. MG42 in heavy cover versus MG in only light cover. Can't get flying up, but Ostwind covers the MG42 and saves the day. And an actual Panzer arriving here for Vindicare while it's going to advancing in support of the munitions cache. We'll be dealing with a Maxim out in the open with a light machine gun. Rifle grenade quickly follows up. Another bit of barraging going on from this field gun. Looks like Ciez is very fond of using light artillery barrages. Splendid stuff there. And noting a tank group battalion command is up. T-34s are rolling out. And there you go, the Maxim is in trouble as the Panzer IV advances. And immediately begins sorting things out in a more permanent way. Looking a bit doubtful if the Maxim can escape the grasp of the Panzer IV. Down to one man. Can he make it? Can he make it? Looks like he did. Smashing. And Ostwind once more encounters the field gun. But looks like another Maxim here is in dire straits. T-34 also rolling up, and there go field gun. Oh, Maxim cleared out.
We have the point secured, but the enemy wants it back! You have orders!
There we go, Panzer IV advances up, going in after that Ostwind. Field gun in a bit of trouble. Panzer IV soon to arrive as well, crashing through the fences. Looks like he's not aware of the Panzer IV until it's too late, meaning he can't get off a shot there from his field gun. Bit of a shame there, since his veteran could have done quite a bit of damage. On the other hand, he does have marked vehicles, so good use of that right now. Could turn things around here rather viciously for Ciez and turn things against Vindicare X with a bit of a vengeance.
AT gun is ready for combat.
Additional field guns arriving. And the sniper out for Vindicare. Maxim in trouble. And getting sniped right there.
This now belongs to the people and workers of the
And there go victory points. All 3 victory points now secured for Ciez.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Southern point being secured. Kennedy's advancing. MG42 in hand.
The enemy still has 300 points. Supply lines have been cut. Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Under armor attack! Do you need something?
Conscripts in trouble. From the Ostwind, another T-34 arriving. Noting, by the way, there's a Maxim machine gun here out in the middle of everything which could be recruited. In fact, lots of MG and Maxims lying around. Definitely should consider recruiting those. Grenadiers advancing up here, little resistance from Ciez to stop his Grenadiers.
You have a target?
And field gun spotted.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
There go the MG42 getting spotted in the middle of the road. T-34 opens up with its main gun and machine guns. Grenadiers trying for the flank here, stopped by the Maxim. And the MG42 is in a bad position now. We see the Panzer IV intervenes. Opens up, gets off a nice hit now on the T-34. Field gun though opens up in response.
Standing by.
And that means there's an MG42 ready for the Russians to grab. On the other hand, the Germans just nabbed the Maxim. Another move ahead there from the Panzer IV. Once more coming under fire from the field gun. And we actually think, oh, he tried to ram it, but no, the field gun did the trick, it would seem. Another T-34 arriving. And looks like the Ostwind is going to be next. Pioneers desperately trying to repair it. They probably should have left it that close to the front line, to be honest. But will it escape? Probably could try and blitz out of there. Looks like Vindicare feels it is not necessary. And there we go, the Austrian successfully escapes the armoured hound of Comrade Stalin, the T-34. Ooh, Maxim down again.
They've opened up on us!
And again, lots of machine guns lying around for the Russians to quickly grab and turn against Thormaronus. The Sturmgeschütz now arriving here for Vindicare X.
We are losing
Opting for
supplies
some
to the
cheaper
enemy.
armour to help out at the front line. In the form of the Sturmgeschütz.
The enemy is reduced to 200 points.
They see us! You have orders?
We heard you!
Heavy mortar continues to prove a nuisance. Map being regained here rather successfully by Ciez once more, popping back to Vindicare X, who could consider using the relief infantry to get help with some of his infantry losses in the long run, adding in some Ostrom to quickly grab some ground, and for some also quickly recruit some of those machine guns lying around in response. Oh dear, this T-34 is going to go down to the Sturmgeschütz, and there we go. A successful shot right there, Grenadiers almost wiped out. Heavy mortar continues to prove itself rather unpleasant. Still no sign of any Guards riflemen, and certainly doesn't look like, for example, that Ciez is either, for example, trying to save up for the T-34-85, which would actually perhaps be a good idea. But definitely low on infantry, and again, might be able to get some relief infantry out that way to sort of deal with it. If we could actually get out, say, 3 squads of Ostrom, that could probably help a bit. And would certainly allow them to lay down some pressure on certain parts of the flank, or at least just fortify some areas, using them in some buildings, for example. Definitely some options there. Panzer versus conscripts down here. Panzer sniper force where the conscript activity do quite a bit of nasty damage there. Conscripts will need to quickly escape. They will not be able to hold up against this continually. There we go. The Panzer Grenadier were able to run them off without suffering any losses at all. T-34 continues to fire away, and is in fact very close to matching 2. Nice handling there of the tank by Ciez. MGs lying around, still not recruited. And no field gun providing cover for the centre anymore. Looks like he pulled them all back for healing and reinforcement. A noble idea, but at the same time rather left his centre open to a quick counter-attack there by Vindicare X and his flak panzer.
Yeah?
Plenty of munitions. Also got plenty of resources to get some armor out if he so fancies, or even to take up and get something heavier if he so fancies. Or of course there's also the option of the mortar half-tank to provide some light artillery support. The options are there. He merely has to seize them. And then armistice Vaterlanders. Looks like he's not so interested at the moment. More T-34s are running there, others lining up.
Sniper here.
Sniper sneaking around. And there we go, Comenius encountering some rather serious resistance there from the Germans, with the Black Panzer supporting his pioneers. Major engagement breaks up here, machine guns light and heavy. Ortinum has recruited. Grenadiers that are taking severe casualties, forced retreat. Mortar rounds going off, and there we go, the Grenadiers got wiped out on the retreat. The heavy mortar continues to prove itself quite vicious. Sniper also in trouble, forced retreat. Can the tank get him? Or will the Stuke be able to intercept and intervene? Or apparently Ciez doesn't want to pursue. So never mind then.
Soviet forces
Hands up,
are
Grenadiers!
attacking!
Victory points are definitely not looking too good for Vindicare X at the moment. He's lost a lot.
Hands on fire!
T-34 making a great engagement there with the Panzer Grenadiers. And ultimately forces them away. Also been supported by the Pack 40, proving to be an admirable adversary for the T-34 up here, forcing it away. Nicely done there.
Look here. You want something?
And we're actually seeing a howitzer going up for Vindicare X, opting for the leichte Feldhaubitze. A bit of artillery, meine Herren.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
That could have been proved to be quite the headache for Ciez. Need to regain that victory point, secure some points there. Perhaps might also be an idea to mine this area. And of course it might also be an idea actually for Vindicare X to prepare this position for any sort of armoured incursions, because it would probably be a good idea and an expected response that his opponent will try and rush the howitzer with a few tanks from this angle and try and destroy it. That's certainly what I would try to do, to ensure it doesn't keep blasting away at my positions.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Oh, nice hit there, wiping out the MD crew. More finding ways to do, opening up the T-34. Several other T-34s prepared. This veteran is 2-1, they're being forced away. Howitzer firing away towards here. The main, how shall we say, travel path, communication route, whatever, either way, where most of the troops move through. Always a good spot to artillery if you have absolutely no idea to otherwise fire. So there we go, doing a bit of damage. Assault going in here. Still getting outflanked by the T-34s, almost down. Field gun also doing quite a bit of damage. Looks like the T-34 might get, oh, shot bounce off the front. Pack 40 also nearby.
The sector has been cut off.
40 Penforce rolling in, the other one pulling in. MD-40 soon inside the church, might want to consider getting out there. Field guns bombarding and shooting away, blasting open the walls and collapsing it. The MD crew inside dies a horrible splintery death. As the Soviet advance continues up there. Black Panzer for the next target. We do see the Stuka still there, getting repaired by whatever pioneers are nearby to help with it. It does have target weak points, so you then consider using it to buy some more time against the Stuka, T-34s. And Pack 40 around gun team, but quickly outflanked by the T-34. Field guns advancing as well. And oh, Counter's running into front of the Panzers and forced away, almost wiped out. Damn close there. And another Panzer IV up for Vindicare X. Certainly does not mock about. And T-34 moving into movement to deal with there. In the south, absolutely nothing to support them against armor, so they will be easy targets for the T-34. Target practice for all intents and purposes. But we do see an armoured response coming in here from Vindicare X's Stuke, arriving, the Panzer IV moving up. Attempt to hit target weak point, but the T-34 maneuvers away too quickly for it to fire off. The armour-piercing round, the heat round that is.
Machine gun spot is firing on us. Gunfire is ready.
And artillery going in here against field guns, forced to reposition or face destruction.
Panzer here.
And we are seeing T-4 T-34s prepared here for Ciez. It looks like he's charging ahead. Will he be using marked target? Will he be using it? Apparently not. Got that. Would have been a nice opportunity here against the Panzer IV. Would have easily taken it down. Still in a bit of trouble getting outmaneuvered. No attempt this time around on actually using target weak point. Bit of a shame. No relief infantry either. I mean, there's a large Soviet assault going in there. Goes through Panzer IV down. Another Panzer IV on the way. Pack 40 outmaneuvered as well. Machine guns raking the crew members. High explosive shells flying around their ears. There we go. Wrecked. The losses are high and piling up for Vindicare X. He loses infantry, loses armor, loses weapons. T-34's moving it. Osman in trouble, damaged engine. Veteran 2 for the Flak Panzer, T-34 ramming it. And we're seeing Sector artillery going in on the road. On the road, covering everything. He's actually moving in, tanked into it. Really needs to move away the veteran T2 T-34 from this. One tank down. Several hits now going in on the veteran T2 T-34. Looks like Ciez has not been paying attention. There we go. Vet 2 tank down. Smoke. He still lost to Panzer 4 though. It did not buy him enough time, but still the sector artillery finishes off the job. Oh my goodness. So many T-34s gone in the blink of an eye, all thanks to sector artillery, and it is now time for the mid-game analysis. But good lord, that certainly turned things around, but looked like a successful armoured assault right here, for Ciez was vanished and vanquished in a moment by sector artillery. Bloody vicious stuff. Definitely exciting, but current situation is we had just seen here that Vindicare X has been pushed back to space. He's barely got any territory. He's lost most of his units. He's only got a veteran 2 Austrian flak panzer left as armour. He's got the field gun, 1 sniper, 1 pioneer squad, and 1 squad of panzer grenadiers with some panzer Schrecks. So roll, there's not an awful lot that Vindicare X can do at the moment. And again, he probably should have used this to sort of help with the losses, but again, that's just my opinion. I'll stop repeating it so much. But right now he needs to rebuild his forces. Getting more infantry is a good idea. Getting some more armor in the long run, perhaps some Stooks to quickly sort of fill that rollout would probably not be a bad idea either. And utilizing relief infantry perhaps that way also help a bit with replenishing losses might also be a good idea. But overall not looking so good. Looking at Ciez, we're seeing considerably more infantry ready. We're seeing 3 squads of conscripts, combined machine guns and field guns. He's definitely got a bit more here to hold back the advance of Vindicare. He's also got a ton of munitions, but he's yet to use any marked vehicle and certainly not so many mines. So definitely what should be a priority right now for Ciez is mining the snot out of the map. Tripwire flare mines, regular mines, just mine it if you can. I mean, mine this area, mine this. There's also noting here a pair of telemines, but mine everything. Everything, possibly. I mean, he's got enough munitions to really just mine every vital point and then some quite thoroughly. So he definitely should do that to make it much, much harder for Vindicare X to make any kind of return, because it means he's going to have to watch every step and going to risk having something blow up in his face. So I would strongly urge mines and also actually beginning to use marked vehicle. And I'm surprised he isn't using it at all, because I mean otherwise he seems like a highly competent player and certainly wouldn't play against Vindicare X if he wasn't. So there's definitely a bit of surprises there. But let us return to the fight. Let's see what he does. Again, mining should be a priority, and otherwise building up his armoured forces again would probably not be a bad idea either. And moving something in to deal with the howitzer. Quick tank assault could probably do that, and looks like the howitzer is once more going to unleash a barrage.
Enemy contact!
Field gun in the line of fire.
In our sector now.
We have incoming!
No mines at all there. A bit disappointed. A field gun crew bit the dust
We are as ready
as
as
the
we
howitzer
can be.
blasted the snot out of them. Not looking good there, comrades.
We are losing territory.
This field gun crew is definitely doing quite alright. Veterans, if free, that's definitely going to be a tank terror in its own right. There again, no one really seems to be bothering with all the support weapons lying around except the Germans, who as always are quite happy to improvise and use anything that is not ours. Means we have to spend less resources on that crap and more men.
Conscripts here.
And an additional MG42. More T-34s arriving. And the field gun barrage taking back returning. He's spending munitions now, I suppose. Not throwing that much. And certainly this is a way to use the field gun.
You need something built? Secure. We will defend it to the death.
And looks like he's still not attempting anything like the T-35s. Sniper aggressively patrolling down the south. He needs to be careful. I mean, if his opponent had been mining around again, that could have been very easily the end of the sniper, which I think would have been rather disappointing for Vindicare X. And some tripwire flare mines could also work on there. Going for the cut-off point again, finding out here, alternating, no Molotov upgrades for him either. Finding point blank here with the MD42, and the MD42 is actually losing. With the losing gunners constantly having to shift away, so that might actually be an MD42 he could steal, and he definitely should do so. Grab the MD42, comrades. Curly that gets the fascists. In the meanwhile, again, this area rather well, lots of troops moving down, good spots. They're going to this time around seizing it, but getting grenaded. Oh, never mind then. And looks like the countries might get wiped on the retreat by the Austrians moving up. Firing away, it's 30 degrees of flak. Anti-tank going to hit the engine. Panzer's Grenadiers following up. Minesweepers with Pioneers. Artillery flying over everywhere. T-34. Things getting incredibly hectic again. Sniper sniping away. Veterans you won as well. Only one combat engineer left. He's definitely not going to survive, and there we go. Scharfschütze did the trick. Losses piling up at the moment for Ciez. And the 4th Tank Corps in the face of the SS Panzerbrigade Gross. Heinz went down. And looks like something blew up, like the tank. Oh, trying to hunt down the sniper, and he did hit the Tillerman right there. And good night, Mr. T-34.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Could possibly actually been set up by Vindicare in case something was trying to rush for the howitzer, but of course now that's clear. But so far it rather doesn't look like that Ciez has any intention of trying to clear out the howitzer, despite it now being Veterans 1 closing in on Veteran 2. Another Stuttgart here for Vindicare. He's definitely spreading out his armoured attention, not just spamming Panzer 4s, but actually going to a bit of this and that. And field gun firing away, T-34 taking an awful lot of damage here. And the Austrians once more trying to escape here. Oh, nasty hit there from the Austrian. And there we go, Sturmgeschütz up. And he's actually bombarding the base of Ciez, killing infantry straight in there. Bastard. Austrian taking another vicious hit there. Anti-tank grenade, really intent on knocking out the Austrian once and for all. 40 kills on the flak panzer. And another smoke drop arriving here for Vindicare, laying down smoke cover. Splendid use of it.
Our points have fallen to 300.
And actually using the veterancy ability of the sniper to stun the machine gun crew. Absolutely lovely. Ever so rare to actually see that used. And right here the Stuke made a bit of a mistake there. Vindicare X, the Stuke has made it in a certain position where the T-34 stands a good chance of knocking it out. That was rather unfortunate, of course. Now the Stuke is screwed. The T-34 now has the mobility advantage. The Stuke simply can't do anything against it. And there we go, field gun gets off a nice hit as well. Stuke going to go down despite Vindicare's X's best intentions. Field gun though the next target for the sniper. Of course, he might soon go down to the T-34 if he's not careful.
Okay, that's the last one. Waiting for
Victory
your
points
command.
continue to tick down way down to 66 victory points for Vindicare X. That's definitely not happy. And the Austrian finally went down as well. Another grievous blow to Vindicare X's forces. Still no sign of a relief infantry usage. But you see another field gun barrage stopping up the Grenadiers. And getting the Grenadiers as well. The losses keep piling up. He's barely got anything left. Good lord. This is a brutal match, clearly at the moment. Ciez is enjoying the advantage, got more armour, more infantry, field guns, MGs. The only thing is that, you know, Vindicare X still has the howitzer. And there we go, the Panzer extracting to clear out the T-34. But point blank field gun barrage kills them all. Doing absolutely vicious damage there with the field gun. Howitzer trying to catch it by the looks of it. Can't seem quite to pull it off. And the sniper now moving ahead. Vindicare X forced to push his remaining men to the very limits.
It is now under our control.
And a pack arrives now of all times.
Yes, comrade. What do you need?
Need to be careful with the veterans with 3 field gun. He's definitely going to need some conscripts to merge with it. It is very close to getting absolutely cleared out, which would mean a waste of that veterans to 3. Panzer Grenadiers arriving once more for Vindicare X and the Panzer Brigade across.
We have taken the enemy down to 50 points.
Anti-personnel fire!
All pack spotted point blank there. Sniper opens up, trying to rush him, but need to be careful about the MG bunker nearby.
Enemy MG!
Which, oh, can't cover that far. Never mind then.
Man down!
Good work, comrades.
And there we go. Veteran G2, lovely.
Territory is falling into enemy
MG
hands.
42 spotted by Max. We're getting shot at there. Pushing it down south. Still no attempt by the looks of it to try to clear up the howitzer, which is very, very soon Veteran G2. Another barrage there from the field gun. Well done. And another Panzerkampfwagen 4. Conscripts up north to target. And there we go, Veteran
Enemy
G2.
forces are neutralizing a sector.
This piece of dirt is ours
MG
now!
squad awaiting orders.
Getting more Maxims. Oh my god, the button grenade just wiped them all out.
For retreat. The enemy is down to 25 points. Victory is in our grasp.
Looks like they got a bit of a gravestone here in the T-34. Another one rolls up to avenge its fallen comrades, riding in nearby next to one of its other fallen comrades. Lots of fallen comrades for this T-34.
Forces are capturing our
Panzer
supplies.
4 though has arrived, sniper moving up, although there's not an awful lot he can do. But we do see a Pack 40 slowly creeping up as well.
Our people
Maxim
anticipate
setting up.
our victory.
Down to 9 victory points, 9 points, ramming ahead with the Panzer 4. Oh, but the engine gave up, the engine gave up. And instead got wiped out. A bold attempt, down to 8 victory points for Vindicare X.
They've opened up on us! Your predecessor died.
Things are definitely looking incredibly desperate for this man.
We are bleeding, comrade!
Conscripts running up, so I might actually get wiped out. There we go.
Let me get you.
Good
All of
night.
our troops have been lost.
Another MG42.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
More conscripts on the way. Things are definitely tensing up here. And this is the point where Ciez actually needs to get really careful. This is the point where a lot of players might fumble because they see only 8 victory points left, and thus they might actually think they're going to make a lot more risks. And thus they actually end up losing a lot more units than they probably should, because again they think, I only need to hold this point for just a few more seconds. I can risk it all. Which can be a dangerous thought. Pioneers here getting caught between 2 Maxims and are just getting shredded. And Yuri and friends finding out that a wooden shed is not the place to hide from Panzer 4.
Enemy forces are secure. Territory is out of contact. Machine gun.
And lots more artillery, and sector artillery again, going down here on the centre victory point. Looks like Ciez is not seeing it, and there we go, direct strike, wiping out the conscripts. While other artillery strikes the base, wiping out another squad. Good lord.
Push on.
He's really giving it his all. And he's actually managed to make a nice return all of a sudden, despite having at one stage barely anything left. Another field gun barrage, though, firing into the darkness, not knowing where he might hit anything.
Yes?
Still no sign of anything that might try and deal with the howitzer, surprisingly enough. And looks like Vindicare X might be trying to bombard it or shoot at something else. Nope. Looks like he's definitely going to see if he can't get that field gun once and for all. Damn close there. Most of them survived. Most of them did survive. And lots more Maxims for Ciez. He seems rather fond of his Maxims. Just not recruiting them. Also, light machine gun lying behind here with the church, ready for anyone to wield against someone else. And not a frightful lot left of this village. And the conscripts are just getting shredded. So many attempts at getting that victory point. Alternating a bunker going up to protect this victory point. Good job there. Good thinking from Vindicare. Sniper finding a bit too recklessly. Trying to look all heroic and cool, and ultimately forced to retreat as a T-34 moves up to shoot and moves the coolest. Panzer 4 driving straight from the field gun. Veteran T3 field gun. Still no attempt at mark target though. But there we go. Veteran T3 field gun. Fast one shots cooking off all the munitions. Right now, there we go. In fact, just about to say good timing for the field gun light artillery barrage, and there we go. Just blasting away. Getting maximum MG and field gun or pack crew. T-34 rolling ahead. Almost got the MD crew there, almost.
They're giving us our fiddle!
Things are definitely tensing out. Of course, Vindicare has to be able to ready to throw in everything to defend any of the victory points at this moment. He can't afford to see him lose them one more time. He's really unfortunate. More MD-42s running up to support. Vindicare really digging in hard. More light artillery barrage. I mean, that field gun is just shooting away. But there we go. The pack finally gets it. The pack wrecks the gun, and the howitzer wrecks the rest. The reign of terror of the Vet 3 field gun is finally over. And that's actually a huge blow right there to Ciez. So that means, of course, he'll be shot one veteran field gun, which was an absolute terror to the armour of Vindicare, but of course also denies him an otherwise excellent artillery piece. I mean, he really did get a lot out of it. Wiping out so much of Vindicare's infantry. Never mind tanks. There we go. Bunker up north, proving itself to be quite the nuisance. Stirring up the Soviet attempts at killing the point. Another Panzer Kampfwagen to be arriving here for Vindicare.
The enemy is down to 200 points.
Yes?
You need something?
Always ready.
27 kills on that sniper, by the way, quite impressive. And Howitzer's definitely having a fun day, getting off another barrage. Vindicare clearly showing himself as a solid artilleryman. In this case, he probably won't have any luck with it. Since there's nothing moving through there, looks like Mr. Ciez might have learned his lesson. In fact, setting up for an armoured assault on the far west flank.
The enemy is taking our territory. Ready.
Finally, has been rushed off. Another MG-42 right there, ready for anyone to pick up. Intense, yes.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Maximum up support, and there we go. Panzer 4 versus T-34. Will there be any sign of marked vehicle this time around?
We are losing a sector.
Pack quickly moving up. There we go, Veteran 1 and T-34. Still no sign of marked vehicle. He probably could have taken out that Panzer 4 by now if he'd had. Pack firing away, 1 T-34 almost down. And there we go, T-34, or Panzer 4 almost down. There we go. Ooh, Panzer fast on it. Veteran 2 Pack 40. And there we go. Both tanks cooked up. Leaving behind only 1 T-34 while the infantry once more makes another move. And again, he's without anything to deal with this bunker. If only he'd used marked vehicle, he seems for some reason extremely reluctant to even use that ability.
Watch for counterattacks.
Which strikes me as quite odd. At least he's using vehicle crew self-repairs.
You need fire support?
Still down to 8 point though. Vindicare is holding on pretty desperately. Sniper and MG-42 come to the center point. And the Pack 40 moved ahead a bit too far there. Might fall into Russian hands now.
Let them flank us!
And looks like he's now bombarding this area, perhaps having realised that now he's moving his infantry and every other unit through here. There we go, Pack might go down, Pack might go down. MD42 quickly moves in to set up in a covering position. Stop up the Soviet advance, and there we go. Maxim nearby though quickly stops up a Pioneer squad. Pack secured.
Small arms fire!
And the T-34 moving up once more. While Vindicare moves up his troops. All behind the fire from the Maxim. And there we go, nice hit from the T-34. And now we actually see him getting some Guards infantry. Almost 50
Machine gun fire!
Yes, finally get some Guards infantry. That's quite surprising. Let's see if he actually upgrades with his light machine guns. No, he's actually quick to recruit the Pack 40. Now we got another Panzer 4 up. Pack getting sniped there by the sniper. 30 kills. And there we go. Quickly cleared out. The rest of the Guards infantry retreat in the face of the sniper.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Victory points being lost. Another sector artillery prepared.
We have new units.
Pioneers ready for anything!
Yeah.
Ja?
Looks like the Maxim did not survive.
HMG here.
Vindicare have now also dug in around
Schützen hier!
Eastern Victory Point.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Clearly taking no chances whatsoever.
Red Army elements.
And again, Ciez actually now shifting the
Infantry has
axis of
spotted
assault
me.
again. Good job there though, we might be a bit too late now.
HMG! There's nothing left of that empty crew but pieces.
And there we go, looks like you've got an empty crew.
Slipped to 100
The
points.
howitzer continues to be an absolute menace to the Soviet army.
Forces are securing our territory.
Sharpshooter. Back here.
Let's Panzer fire! Retreat!
And there you go, Panzergun is forced to retreat as well. Constance once more being faced with the sniper.
The enemy is down to 75 points. We are losing a sector.
Panzergun is in trouble. But looks like they will escape successfully. Or at least semi-successfully.
Haubitze!
Bit of artillery fire going in there. Still no attempt at even hunting down the howitzer, knocking it out. I'm quite surprised. There's not even a single T-34 sent in or a T-70, and once more another Maxim finds itself wiped from the face of the earth by the howitzer.
We have hammered the enemy down to 50 points. We claimed it for the fatherland. We have a new Panzer 4.
Infantry assault! We're ready!
And goes sniper fired off another observation round, and there we go. Another squad dead. This sniper just keeps raking in the kills. Oh, real hero of Germany. The ned's going off. Here looks like a last desperate attempt, an old ditch attempt here by Ciez to get in. It's all or nothing now, and his units are just getting absolutely massacred. He's got barely anything left. The howitzer, sector artillery once more. And there we go. Game over. A crushing defeat. In the end, though, I mean, he fought bravely, he fought well, he had him down to 8 victory points, but ultimately, though, a few tactical mistakes allowed Vindicare to get back into the game with a vengeance. In particular, his failure to take out the howitzer proved quite fatal, if not downright terminal, for his victory efforts. That, and I also think, I mean, he didn't really use, the fruits of his doctrine. I mean, there was no marked vehicle which again could easily turn several engagements much more in his favour. That's not to say he's played poorly with his T-34s, but he definitely could have had the much shorter engagements, much better engagements with marked vehicle. No attempt at the T-30-45, so I think he could have benefited from some regards to infantry. Otherwise, major mistake not mining the crap out of the map using all of the munitions he had. I mean, otherwise, make good use of his vehicles, make good use of, for example, of the field gun with his barrage. My God, I've rarely seen someone put that much usage out of one field gun and absolutely proved devastating to Vindicare X several times over. So, I mean, he played really well, but again, it was a few certain mistakes which allowed Vindicare X to just really stick in there and ultimately do a lot of damage. Again, the Howards being one of the primary ones, but again, failing to mine and, sometimes just grabbing his opponent's weapons. I mean, if he grabbed some MG4s around hitting the Maxims, he could probably make it a lot harder for Vindicare X to get into the fight. And again, that perhaps also combined with the reluctance to use this, probably also bit him in the arse. Vindicare X, played well. There were certainly also a few mistakes here and there. He probably could have done more with this doctrine of relief infantry, all the more to half track, but otherwise, he did well. He had some really good mines here and there. He probably could have done with a few more Stooks at a time rather than just one, which could easily also be a bit outmaneuvered at times, and also probably a few more packs well placed. He seemed a bit reluctant to get packs, only getting the packs once things were sort of going a bit ugly, which probably didn't help him a bit too much either there, and probably could also have done with some mines right around here in the village centre, or at least covering up some of his flanks, which would have made it a lot harder for Ciez to sort of rush in with his tanks, which he otherwise, did quite nicely. But otherwise, great use of sector to be absolutely breaking up several times his opponent's efforts, and also great use of the smoke bombs, and also good use of artillery. So overall, well played by both sides, but ultimately better played by Vindicare X. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned a lot from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If you didn't, well, why not simply play on, provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.